Hello and welcome here then to Texas, the next round of the Craftsman Cup Series. Yet again, it is qualifying. Another 10 minutes on the clock has already begun. And we're going to wait until we see who is the first driver to come on out here at Texas Motor Speedway. So the championship then is starting to take shapes. We're 6 rounds in, another 19 to go after this race here. And looks like we're going to get someone that is finally going to come out onto the track. And by the looks of it, it is Ali Rain. Ali Rain. She is going to be the first one to pop out. So we will just keep a lookout on her for now. There we go. There she is. Ali Rain driving the 77 Jasper engines for Penske Jasper Racing. Was going to have her best result of the season a week ago at Road America before she had to make a late pit stop and end up being in 29th place, so not really good then for Ali. Obviously her help was sank when her pit crew said we don't have enough fuel, we've got to make it to the end, so we have to make a pit stop. She was definitely fuming it down the radio, so I feel awful for Ali for that there, because that was going to be such a great result for her. Maybe we'd have kicked out of their season, but not to be. Hopefully Texas could be one here tonight for her. More cars coming out then. Oh, that's the Petty teammates then. Kyle Matthews followed by Joshua Collard. They both had a good outing a week ago at Road America. I believe both of them finished in the top 10, I think. No, take that back. Joshua finished 11th. So good day out then for the Petty teammates. There's a look at Matt McLean there, who's struggling to the season. Comes into this 39th in the championship as Levi McIntyre and Colin Jones also pulls out. James Cole's in the pits, Brandon Ross, Danny Wells, and Matt McLean comes out just ahead of Wes McCall, who lost the championship lead after his decent finish. But Dylan Poulteat's last two results have been the first and the second, so you know, Poulteat is flying. As there is Brent Wintergreen, just being passed by Noah Cars. Now these drivers do have the restricted plate racing engines in these cars. Again, talking about qualifying again, qualifying still applies. Anyone that gets involved in a wreck in the 10 minutes qualifying and then the car disappeared, then they will be starting at the back of the grid. And I will be checking up on that when the 10 minutes are up, and then I will stop the footage and honestly see if there has been any drivers that went in. We saw it at Papaya 2 weeks ago with Jessica Shelton, and there wasn't any at Road America. So there we go. James Cole's out on the track. Nathan Hudson just coming onto the track as well. There's Michael Norman, who's having a different transition to last season, hasn't he? He's had a tremendous start of the season. Back into the top 10, got held up by the 9 of Danny Wells, and now Nick Gunther gets a run on him. Dylan Young. New livery then for the hometown boy, Trent Dunham, driving the Ritz #1. For any diehard NASCAR fans that would actually know, that is the Busch Series car. There he is. And there is the championship leader. Has a 41-point lead over Wes McCall. So Dylan Poulteat in some fine form. Another driver that's in fine form. Let's find him. There he is right there. Jack Mitchell in the 42. He's had 3 consecutive top 10 finishes. And he's trying to get into his teammates' draft there. There he is, the 41. He's driving the Fujifilm car. That is Seth Cole, Sam Oskin, and Sky Common. Sky already went into the winners of closures a few weeks ago, back at the second round of the championship. Here's a driver that just got more put into the into Victory Circle, and also books his spot in the All-Star race. Diego Ospino, there he is. And he, like Mitchell, has had a great start. Well, he's had a better running now. He started the season slowly, and now, with that win, he's put him into the top 10 in the driver's points. So, good on Diego for that, as Zachary Fitzwater gets a run on the 97. Meanwhile, Ali Rain makes a pit stop and then coming out again. We just saw Matt McIntyre as well do the same thing. Daniel Voiles, who was one of the 2 drivers that had an incident, the other one being Carson Gum, there he is. That's his car. But Daniel Voiles, he won at Texas the last time, I believe. That was the second Texas race. And he's got Jamie Smith. Jamie Smith, what a start to the season that he's having. 4th in the championship. And there is Carson Green. Seems to do great in qualifying. But when it comes to race, he actually struggles. He's had 2 third-place finish at qualifying efforts and a 2nd place one. That was a week ago at Road America. But he's not had any good results to show for it, other than, I think it was it Nazareth or Papyrus? I can't remember. It was one of the two. Brandon Ross, too, in the 21. Jesse Turner back in the Valvoline Chevrolet. I do love that livery, I must admit. Bit of an upside-down season so far then for Jesse. We're just into the second half now of the qualifying. Yeah, Jesse was as high as 8th in the championship after Auto Club, but then a string of bad results then. A 40th place finish at Nazareth in the 3rd round, followed by a dead last finish at Atlanta. Papyrus, where did he finish? 25th, and Road America was a little bit of an improvement, 16th, hopefully wanting to end the bad run of form. Well, he's getting a good tilt off of the there's Alex Rowe, 37. He's another one that's sort of been qualifying decently. His best has been on, was it the front row at Nazareth? Let me just check my papers. No, it was the front row. Oh, it was the front row at Auto Club. My apologies. He's been mostly at the top end of qualifying, but he, like Carson Green, his results never really showed for it where he is at the moment. He's definitely down 40th or lower in points, I'm afraid. Levi McIntyre in the 88 there was Austin Plant, who was on the pole a week ago, and his name's now in the All-Star show. Is coming into the pits to put some new tyres on. Maybe I should keep a lookout on that. Then maybe to come in, and Charlie Buxton also in, as well as Wes McCall. Now we're going to keep an eye out on this time of year, because I've seen Wes McCall, and out goes Liam Ervig, who's actually been struggling as of late. Lost the rookie lead. There's his teammate Nick Gunther just ahead. Chris Summers, who's also been tumbling down the order. Brand Tedesco secured a top 10 a week ago. Hopefully that will give him some confidence. Cody Lammers then was fuming at Liam Ervig last time out, where he held up the 18. He was assured for a safe 4th place finish, but then lost potentially 2 places, but managed to get 5th place. But he was not happy on the radio last time out there. He confronted his teammate and saw out what was his problem, why he didn't let him go. Right then, and Wes McCall actually comes out on the track here. I'm gonna have to look at Wes McCall, see if there has been some sort of problem with him. Zachary Fitzwater then comes into the pits. So too does the hometown hero Trent Dunham. Where's he's putting on some mud tyres there. Looks like it's Trent. Right, so now we've got Christian Martin, who's back up into the top 10 in the championship points. And Chris Summers has got nowhere to go. Jessica Shelton. And out goes Wes McCall. Hopefully not going to cause an accident, which he doesn't. And there is Matt McIntyre in the 22. Fitzwater comes out at the track. There's the Danny Wells. Michael Norman and Dylan Young working together. And there's RJ Bishop. Noah Cars. First time seeing the Pizza Hut 44. And there's Anthony McCrory in the 8s. That's the same livery he raced at Daytona back in the season opener. And Noah Carr's taking a interesting line out of there. And there's 40 seconds to go until the end of qualifying. As Trent Dunham is still in the pits. Sam Oskin and Seth Cole. Looks like they're sort of slowing each other up a bit here. Carson Gunn makes a look on the pass on Sky Commons, followed by there's Jamie Mitchell. There's Colin Jones. Colin Jones, who showed a lot of courage there. Ooh, now has to get held up behind Austin Plant. So that's that lap ruined, and potentially the next one. And like I said a couple of seconds ago, it was 40 seconds left. So he's not going to get in another good lap in, unfortunately, because Austin Plant held him up. But yeah, 3rd place though for Colin Jones. Easily by far his best finish of the season. And there is 0 seconds on the clock. There's Fitzwater, Daniel Voiles. I better look at the 66 because I know he's not on the pool. So we'll have a look at done. It's about 13 seconds to go. In fact, what we'll do is we'll stop it at 10 seconds and then I will cut the this thingy and see if any drivers did disappear. Well, I have looked back at the footage of the drivers that were in the pit lane and I can say no cars were disappeared. I thought, where's McCall? Because he looked like he stayed in the pits quite a long time. I was a bit questioning about him, but fortunately enough for him, his car didn't disappear, and neither did the other 41 drivers. So we're going to have ourselves a nice, clean hanging. No drivers then starting at the back of the grid. So then, moment of truth. Who is going to start on the pole for tomorrow's 67 lapper at the 1.5 mile track that is at Texas Motor Speedway? The answer is Charles Sanford. Charles Sanford then will start on the pole. It's a good job Wes McCall's car didn't disappear because he's starting on the front row. He would have started all the way down to the rear of the grid. Brent Wintergreen and Brand Tedisco. Tedisco hopefully continuing the good time, the good form that he had last week. Nick Gunther and Liam Ervig, Joe Gibbs Racing teammates on the third row. Daniel Voiles, well, like I said, he won at this track last season. And Cody Lambert. So good showing for the Joe Gibbs Racing teammates. They're going to be starting their cars 5th, 6th and 8th. Charlie Buxton, he sits in 9th alongside Anthony McCurdy, and then Jamie Swift and Nathan Hudson will share row 6. The championship leader, Dylan Poteet, will start on the inside of row 7. That's not a bad effort from him. Sky Commons in 14th, Joshua Collard in 15th, alongside Noah Cars. Matt McIntyre 17th, Chris Summers 18th. He's a driver that needs to get back going. He's also coming in with some poor form today. Matt McLean needs a good run as well. Danny Wells will start alongside him on row 10. Trent Dunham, the hometown boy, and he'll be alongside Michael Norman, who has been an absolute revelation this season, especially Michael being in the top 10. Carson Green will start along behind his teammate, and alongside him will be Jessica Shelton, RG Bishop and Jesse Turner, who was on the pole for one of these Texas races a season ago. He's going to be starting 26th. Colin Jones and Dylan Young make up row 14. Then we've got row 15, Jack Mitchell and Christian Martin. That's an old Dodge affair on that row. It's an old Dodge affair in the 16th row with Austin Plant and Kyle Matthews. That's the phone ringing. My apologies. Totally not planned. Sam Oskin and Zachary Fitzwater will be row 17. Row 18 will be Alex Rowe and Ali Rain. So hopefully these two drivers will have their season started as well, because they're both way down the points total. James Qualls, he's also kind of stepping down the points too, but he's starting 37th. Seth Cole in 38th. He dropped out of the top 10 last week. Brandon Ross, Diego Ospina, the winner a week ago, starting on the outside row of 20, and on the last row is Levi McIntyre and Carson Gum. Carson Gum there really struggling in that 99 machine. So there we go then. There you have it. Congratulations then to Charles Sanford. He starts on the pole for tomorrow's Texas race. Thank you so much for watching qualifying, and we'll see you tomorrow for the race itself.